Hello and welcome to the beating heart of the opening Mercedes-Benz UCI Cross-Country World Cup of the season. We're here in Albstadt, Germany, down the pits. Now it's been a busy off-season, lots of rider changes, team changes and some really exciting new bike tech to catch up on. So let's take a wander, see what we can find. Trek Factory Racing pulled off perhaps the biggest transfer coup of the off-season. They got Jolanda Neff, who is obviously one of the absolute superstars of cross-country. We're going to poke our head in the window, see who we can spot, and if not, we'll have some nice red and possibly some nice blue race bikes to look at as well. Matt Delorme's down there. Jolanda is there. We might see if we can grab her, if I can just stick my head in. So not only Jolanda Neff, but she's paired with Emily Batty for one of the fastest teams in the pits, hands down. How are you? Grazie vous, etc.
Hello.
How are you? I am, yeah, sorry. That's why I'm being quite professional.
I thought you wanted to talk to me.
I do want to talk to you.
Because of the camera.
Trek Factory Racing then, when did this all come about?
Yesterday, didn't you hear?
Yesterday? I didn't get the email, no. No, you made this...
It's new now. Yeah.
It's a big announcement, isn't it? It's a big change for you.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I love it. I'm so happy. Yeah.
And how have you made the adjustment to the bike as well? Big change or quite similar?
Yeah, it's a huge change. I mean, everything, all bikes are new, the whole setup is new, it's all new people to work with, so it is a big change. And yeah, I had a very busy winter, but I think it's a good time to do this step, and it's the first time in my life actually to be on a factory team.
Really?
Yeah, really. I was also like, is it true? But it is. Yeah, I've always been on smaller teams. So yeah, it's a big step for me, and I'm so happy to be here now. Only just started riding this last week.
So tell me about this. What bike is this? This is
a Pro Caliber. They put a sticker on, so I remember.
And me.
It's a Pro Caliber. We have the newest, latest SRAM AXS setup, like the shifting.
Oh, so it's Bluetooth.
Yeah, it's a new Bluetooth
She's
shifting.
gone to sleep. Oh, you got in the Crank Brothers? Yeah. Is that more float, more movement? Is that a big difference?
No, it's just lighter. It's half the weight of the other ones. So.
This is basically, it's like a soft tail, isn't it? This moves, the seat tube moves.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a little, some movement. It's not suspension, so it's still a light frame, light bike. But yeah, some
movement.
Some movement. Yeah.
Can you notice that when you're riding it? Do you have to get used to that?
Well, I've only been on the full assist, and then when I come on this, of course, it feels a lot less suspension. But so yeah, there's still a tiny bit light. So.
Albstadt this weekend, then it's going to be a fast race, isn't it, with the changes they've made?
Yeah, it is. I'm sad we didn't get to make a track check.
I'm not.
Fun last year, at least for my part.
It's fun for you, Jolanda, not so much. Maybe Nova Mesto.
So we could do that. Yeah, I'm in for that.
I feel I could put a better account of myself in a Nova Mesto. I think, yeah.
That would be great, because also then you now have 1 week to like mentally prepare for whatever.
Mentally, physically, cry a lot. Yeah. So that should be good. I'm just noticing there's something I need to hurdle here, so I might just... Look at that, still got it. The reigning world champion, Courtney, has gone to Scott Schramm to join Nino Schurter and Lars Forster. So we're going to go up there, see if we can get eyes on her new bike. This is the man we were hoping to speak to, Brad.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, and you?
Yeah, good man, not too bad. Kate out practicing at the minute?
She's out, she's probably sleeping right now.
Is this one of her new bikes?
That's one of them. She's going to race the hardtail this weekend here, and that's the bike we'll have for Nova Mesto next week, and commuting back and forth between the venue here.
Is that the scale? Can we come in and have a look at it?
That's the Spark, yeah.
The Spark, sorry.
The scale is the hardtail, and that's one for the week. But yeah, come on in,
Let's have a look, yeah. That's about as pimp as a cross-country bike's going to get, isn't it?
You couldn't do a lot better than this now, but she's earned it, I think.
This is obviously new team, new bike. How big a swap over, I guess, for her and you has that been in the off-season?
Yeah, almost everything is different as far as the equipment that we've used, but we got it pretty early and had plenty of time in the off-season and good resources all around us to help us become familiar very quickly with how everything works. And we're very thankful to be tight with SRAM. They got us the new access stuff.
So this is a Bluetooth group set. There's no cables anywhere for the group, for the shifting, and for the dropper post. This is all controlled via Bluetooth.
Correct. Yeah, the only wire you see now, there's a little special feature that a couple of the bikes are running. You'll see there's actually a time trial blip button in the left grip. You might not have noticed that one yet. That's the dropper post for Kate with her little hands. She was a little limited on where we could put levers and switches, so we figured that with a blip box, which is now hiding inside the down tube, and yeah, it's a pretty special setup to be able to run it like that.
How's that been for you to set up? Is it pretty straightforward to set up, or does it require a bit more maintenance? Or
The hardest part is in Europe when my phone plan doesn't have data. It costs me quite a bit of money to log in and change your settings. So other than that, it's pretty easy. Yeah, no, it's quite easy. It all pairs with the push of a button. Each part, once the rear derailleur is in pairing mode, you just tap each one and they come to life. So
the big point is that it's cool looking. But how much does this whole bike weigh roughly?
as it is with the power meter, we're just under 22 pounds. It's about 21.7 pounds if you're able to understand empirical measurements. I think it's just about 9.5 or 10 kilos. Yeah.
For the full sauce.
For the full sus with the power meter, with pedals on it, everything. Yeah, dropper post, all of that stuff.
I'm into it, Brad. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers, dude.
See ya. Bye-bye.
For the bike geeks out there who remember the heady days of the 1990s, what I'm about to show you is head and shoulders one of the coolest bikes you'll see today. So come and have a look at this. It's the Cannondale FSI Throwback. So this is the same paint scheme as like the iconic brand, the iconic bikes raced by the likes of Tinker Juarez back in the early days of cross country. And it's got the throwback graphic on it. It's red and yellow. They do a blue and yellow one as well from the Volvo Cannondale days, if anyone can remember them, which is just, for me, the coolest livery that's ever been on a race bike. This is what cross country race bikes were for a long time. Cannondale really were like always at the sharp end of doing things differently, and they did it with this head shocks, which the suspension unit is in the head tube and the upper part of the fork in the frame. And this is just, 26-inch wheels, hydraulic rim brakes, Cannondale's own crank system. That's, I thought that new one was about as cool as it got, but I think this has just replaced it, actually. That's a quarter of a century old.
That is an old bike, you know. Together, the motorbike, the bicycle, and myself were over 100 years old. It's like a proper senior trip. I want to say the most dramatic is, besides the wheels, is the geometry.
Yeah.
When you sit on, your muscles hurt in places where you didn't know you had muscles, and that was just because back in the days we didn't know any better. You know, we just did things the way they came out of the box.
Would you say then the biggest advance in cross-country race bike technology is the geometry? Do you think that's changed a lot of how they're ridden and how fast they can go?
I would say it's a mix. I mean, for sure, the new materials like, first aluminum, then carbon, made a big, weight, bringing the weight down. I mean, 29er wheels added some weight, but now we're so deep into adjusting geometry, making a bike light, nimble, stable, and very rideable.
I want to see the new lefty, actually, because this is cool, the Lefty Ocho, which is the single crown lefty fork, which is sort of visually quite arresting if you're not used to it.
When we started the project, we had a big, said like, what is the ultimate wish list? And this came down like, it should be as light as possible. We want to stay with that super sensitive needle bearing action. We want it to be universal. That was one of the downgrades of the old lefty models, that we were like kind of like stuck to our design. We had to use our stem. We had to use a specific frame size. With the new Ocho design being single crown, besides being super sexy, the look, we also redesigned the internals completely for a much better performance. People don't see is how many generations of different prototypes before we actually achieve the stiffness and performance we wanted.
Don't forget, for more videos like this throughout the season, all the race and tech stuff that's going on, check back on Red Bull Bike.